opportunity to spend much time with Secretary of State Dennis Richardson, excuse me. But like many of you in this room, I wish that I'd had more time. I met Dennis by phone in early 2016. We were both on the ballot, and he was running for election. I was running for re-election. And we had one thing in common. Well, we had many things in common. We had one important thing in common. We were both Republicans running in very blue states. Not totally sure what we were thinking, in fact. But when you serve as an elected official, and I know many of you in this room know this, candidates will frequently call you and ask for your advice. Typically, those calls go something like this. They tell you how great they are. They tell you how they're going to win election, and they tell you about their really spectacular resume. This call from Dennis was different. He wanted to know about my experience running in 2012 in Washington. He listened and asked informative questions so he could understand and learn from my experience. When I asked about his political resume, he nonchalantly said that he had run for governor. Once again, he was unlike any candidate I had met. He spoke of that race in terms of the lessons he had learned and how it had prepared him to run for Secretary of State. Not a single bad word about his opponent, about the other side. No disparaging remarks. He only focused on the positive. It was unlike any political conversation I've ever had. And what struck me most about him was his humility. We'd have many conversations through the years, and each one would have the same tenor and tone. Each would remind me of the principles that I try to emulate. Dennis joined the Association of Secretaries of State in 2017, and that was the first time I got to meet him at our annual conference. I was impressed with his quiet leadership, his collaborative style, and the wisdom he had from his years of public service. In just a few days, I could see that he was going to add a great deal to our association, bringing positive energy and substance. He'd be a leader of his peers because he was knowledgeable, thoughtful, and respectful. Shortly after our annual meeting, I was diagnosed with cancer. I was blessed to have another statewide official in my state, our Chief Justice, Mary Fairhurst, who had also been diagnosed and served in public office with cancer. And when I met with her, we had a discussion, and she said something very powerful to me about her take on battling cancer. And she said she didn't like that term because while we all fight, it's such a win-lose paradigm. You either win or lose the battle. So she always wanted to approach it as a journey. And it's a journey none of us would choose, but it's another part of our life that we get to experience. So embrace it and enjoy the journey as much as you can. These words changed the way that I approach my own illness, and I can't read a single thing on this sheet of paper, so bear with me. I'm confident that Dennis walked his own journey in the way that he chose to. And I know that I learned many lessons watching him in his brave path forward. In January, I lost both of my parents within 4 days of each other. And like my cancer treatment, I had many people reach out to me in different forms, sending me their prayers, giving me flowers, sending me cards. This card was the most meaningful. I received this from Secretary Richardson. He wanted to comfort me in my time of loss, in the final days of his journey through cancer. It told me everything about his character, and it will always be an example that I will take with me of how to live my life. So, Godspeed, Secretary Richardson. Know that your legacy will live on in so many of us. You were so loved. You are so loved, and you taught us great things. Thank you.